There seems to be many surprises for new renters or homeowners in these clips. YouTuber Dempsey7 also recently moved into this apartment. He said he rented the place without viewing it because it looked nice and the rent was low, but when he got there, he realized why it was so cheap. There are really high ceilings like a 19th century monastery in the middle of England, he said. He then takes viewers on a tour through the apartment. There are mirrors all over. All of this is nothing compared to what he found just outside the bathroom. Carved into the floorboards, you can clearly see a hatch in the floor, kitted out with a handle. Dempsey7 says he figured it was a bit of underground storage. He lifts the lid up and it does appear to be a storage space, that is until you look beyond the surface and see that the space expands below pretty deeply. Dempsey7 guides viewers down stone stairs that lead into what he calls a dungeon. There's a corridor heading off ahead, lots of stones and discarded brick and wiring. There is a room to the right, directly below Dempsey7's apartment. On the wall is graffiti that reads, CCFC OK, judging from the flooring. Dempsey7 believes it used to be a burial ground. He heads down the corridor. Most of the dungeon is piled with rubbish, dirt, and old brick. He finds a newspaper dating back to 1984. He finds what looks like an old front door. Did someone used to live here? Or perhaps the house was built over an older existing foundation? Whatever the case, a dungeon is one secret room I wouldn't want to find in my new home. Would you invite yourself into a demon's home? Published by Toppy in December of 2021. That's what this ghost hunter did, and he would live to regret it. He quickly realizes he is not alone. After hearing faint footsteps on the floor above, he sets up his camera in the darkness. That's when this happens. Later, he is trying to communicate with the poltergeist, and he receives an answer.
Это ты всех мучил здесь.
Will he heed the spirit's warning? No, he will not, and the demon doesn't like it.
Твою мать.
Would you stay a minute longer inside this haunted place? A minute seems too long to me. This video was submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Gobs of Goblins. The Redditor wrote, kept hearing a weird inconsistent tapping noise coming from the ceiling. The attic is directly above my room. Caught one of the times it happened on video. Check the attic and nothing's there. Still kinda freaks me out. I can certainly hear what the Redditor is talking about. Check it out. I know the Redditor checked the attic, but I'm thinking something has to be hiding up there. Not everyone is convinced though. Gohan0912 wrote in the comments that they think it's squirrels or birds. So what do you think? Is there a stranger secretly living in this house? Or is the answer really as simple as Gohan thinks it is? This dashcam video was supposedly taken near Hanoi, Vietnam, and was posted on Facebook where it spread to the local news. In it, the car soon pulls up to a figure dressed in all white standing in the middle of the road. The drivers are quite concerned that this individual is standing in the middle of a pitch black road, alone besides one street light above. They don't ask the person anything. Instead, they quickly drive away. While many online thought it was a ghost of some kind, news agencies have said that this was a woman who is not mentally well and was possibly attempting to take her own life. Let's hope she got the help she needed before it was too late. You've all heard of the Headless Horseman, but have you heard of the Headless Errand Boy? Published to YouTube in February of 2020, this clip will have you doing a double take. The clip shows what appears to be a man without a head in Asia carrying a shopping bag as if just running some errands. He walks out into traffic and slides between two cars to cross the street. No one around seems to notice the oddity. The fact that he's without a head phases no one. The car he cuts in front of even beeps loudly, just hurrying him to get out of their way. So are our eyes deceiving us, or is this just some fancy edit? This one has me scratching my head. This police cam footage was taken during a massive wildfire in Sonoma County, California in 2017. Officers are doing what they can to evacuate the public and restore order, but as this brief dashcam video shows, they were up against total chaos at the time.
I dispatched someone from the fire department and tried to assess an accident. He said he was unaware of which way the fire is going. They have so many fires, they can't really keep track at this point, and they also cannot answer.
Listen closely and you'll even hear the dispatcher say that they can't tell which direction the fire is spreading and seems to be genuinely overwhelmed. I have to salute this officer and all of the other brave public officials who willingly charged into a massive blaze to try and help everyone. As they're all around us, will you be brave enough to fight when you encounter them? In this video, a man is standing in a dark alleyway when another man to his right appears. Figures also seem to be standing around him in the darkness, out of sight of the camera, as you can see vague flickers of movement. Suddenly, he's at the mercy of these figures. But the movement is not human, but like a hurricane force. He's thrown to the ground and the force disperses. Then the other full-figured man in the video grabs him before heading back into the adjacent building. It's almost as if there's water on the ground. As the man tries to move, there's a ripple effect. Then he is dragged by his feet by the unknown force off camera. The rippling continues for a moment before going still, but the stillness is brief. When the other dude returns to the alleyway, looking upon the scene, he suddenly rushes back into the building as something huge is thrown in after him. It's not clear if it's a person, place, or thing. A moment later, a figure wearing a long black cape and a hat leaves the building. A window shatters beside it as the figure departs. What in the world is happening here? Any theories? I feel at a loss when coming up with a rational explanation for these happening. A group of ghost hunters are exploring a notoriously haunted retirement home in Ohio at 1 a.m. when they manage to find something strange and unsettling.
Into the bathroom. Here it is again at half speed.
One of the ghost hunters barely manages to catch this fleeting shadow while turning around. The room to the right is completely empty and nobody is inside, plus everybody else is in a different section of the house. It doesn't look like the camera is simply adjusting to different lighting conditions, so there really is absolutely no reason for a shadow to be on the right side of the screen like that. To me, it looks like something is possibly making a quick escape. There's nowhere to escape when you're on a haunted island. The Hype Mic crew soon realizes that not only can't they escape, but something is in the house with them. They discover the front door open.
We left the door open, right? Did we leave the door open?
Like, I feel like we would have closed that, no?
At least the wooden door, too, you know?
Then they see something truly terrifying outside.
Hello? Who's that?
What is that?
What was that? The guys described the creature.
Something outside, dude. There's like a thing. It had like, its face was all like. I couldn't.
Something was on his face. I don't know if it was like a mask or something, but
yeah,
something was on his face, and he had like a.
Outside, they hear a call in the wilderness.
I think I heard something up there.
Yep. Right there.
And as they continue on, they get closer to it.
What was that?
Wow. We're definitely getting closer.
Like really close.
And they get even closer.
Oh my. That's thick. I thought it was another one of those skull things.
I think we should try to like find its like base camp. Cause that.
Until they find its base camp.
It's another one of those skulls.
Hello?
Is this creature watching them? It seems to have left some sort of warning on the ground.
What is that? Is that a brain?
Stop. What the
Disgusting.
And amongst the brambles of the creature's base camp, they find this.
Jesse?
What?
Look at this. We need to get out of here.
Arriving at the water's edge, they see this.
What the That's... Bro, we gotta go.
I think he's right. They've gotta go. Wouldn't you? I sure would. Have you ever seen something out of place reflected in the window? Posted to the haunted subreddit by Please Recycle Those. This Redditor did, and he is wondering what these are. The Redditor explains in the comments that his dog heard a sound downstairs, so he followed the dog down with the camera rolling. As he is panning across a dining room area, when he captures his own reflection in the window, panning past, something strange is reflected behind the cameraman in the window reflection. The Redditor is wondering if it's an arm. Some in the comments say it could be a ponytail, but the Redditor has short hair. Others think it's a fast-moving ghost or something leaving the scene. What do you think it is? Whatever it might be, it'll knock your socks off. In a circle near a haunted hut, Om Vlogs sets out to complete the 12-hour challenge.
भाग जाएगा अगर कोई जानवर हो तो यार ये कहाँ से खुलता है पूरा पैक में हाँ ये भी है
This is what happened.
वो सब झोपड़ी है वो हॉन्टेड वाली नहीं 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 देख तेरा ये क्या आई डोंट नो कुछ आवाज़ है कैसी बताऊँ आवाज़
Something is right outside their tent. When they exit, they hear it in the trees.
मेरे को झोपड़ी पे है ना हल्का सा भी मूवमेंट से दिखाई देती झोपड़ी पे हाँ
And then they see it in the hut.
रुक जब कुछ बेकाबू है ओए प्रियंक इस तरफ से आ रही है मेरे उस तरफ कोई कुछ कर रहा है
Back inside their tent, they hear this, so they turn out the light.
लाइट बंद कर नीचे वो बड़ी लाइट बंद कर
But that only seems to disturb it more.
लाइट बंद लाइट बंद भाई कोई तो है
And just when they think the beast is gone,
लाइट लगे खोल लाइट दिखा लाइट मार गया बस आई भगाए
back outside, it looks as though something disturbing has happened in the hut.
देख यहीं से ओए ये देख ये यहाँ हमने रखा था हाँ देख पहले उसने कोई जानवर था या कुछ था उसने यहाँ पे ये सब करा है फिर उसके बाद वो कुछ खाने की चीज़ समझ के
Well, I'm not sure what beast is haunting them. I am sure of one thing. I will not be completing this 12-hour challenge. Nothing is more terrifying than surveillance footage of an event, especially one that ends human life. This video footage shows 3 suspects involved in a double life-taking in South Ogden, Utah. Surveillance footage surrounding the scene of the event captured 2 suspects peering through the home's windows and later a masked man fleeing the scene. All 3 suspects were wearing hard plastic masks. According to several news articles documenting the event, police believe the incident was not random, but targeted, and that the suspects were familiar with both the people in their home. South Ogden Police Chief Darren Park noted that while reports of a loud party had been made to police, he asked any witnesses to come forward and said in a statement that he hoped the families of the people will gain some closure. Multiple surveillance cameras caught the suspects scoping out the home. One suspect was wearing a mask, while the 2 others wore opaque plastic masks as they approached. One camera showed a suspect crouched down, watching the home for a while, after which the second suspect and later the third joined in. A second camera caught them peering into the home's windows. Following the event, one of the men was seen on a third camera hopping over a fence. As of the latest update found online, dated March 2019 by ABC4, the double life-taking remains unsolved. More has been pieced together of the night's events, including the fact that 3 of the Van Komen brothers lived in the home, while the unfortunate older neighbor, Kevin Nelson, had just dropped by when the event occurred. Once 2 of the Van Komen brothers left to pick up some food, leaving just one and one other roommate inside, the stranger seized the opportunity to enter. The brothers were gone for no more than 10 minutes, and when they returned, they found Kyle passed away on the floor. Van Komen's mother, Renee Finch, said of the footage, "I think that it's creepy that they're out there watching." Adding later, "We're very thankful we didn't lose all 3 of our boys that night." Nelson's nephew, Ralph Nelson Jr., also said of his uncle that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, a feeling echoed by Finch, who doesn't know why her son might be targeted. There was no clear motive for the double life-taking, which is likely why the trail remains cold today, despite over 70 people being questioned over the past 3 years. Unsolved mysteries are inherently terrifying, and the coldness of this case compounds that fear. And you can see it's clearly the upper half of a young girl who is dressed in old-fashioned clothes from another time period. She is floating in midair as she curiously peeks in on the 2 children to see what they are doing. One of the girls still doesn't see the ghost. She shouts at something that's on television and accidentally startles the ghost away. The girl with the camera follows the ghost as it retreats. The ghost instantly teleports and now stares at them from the top of the steps. The scared girls run out of the house screaming. They stop only for a second to turn around from the street. They can see the ghost girl walking across the left window on the top floor. It vanishes and then suddenly appears on the bottom floor in less than a second. They scream even louder and take off again. What do you expect to encounter inside a morgue but the Passed Away? Published by Kay in September of 2016. This exploration of a haunted abandoned morgue turns cold. Kay and crew arrive at the morgue at night, wandering around it and find a way in. They enter through a piece of metal exterior that has been ripped off. While exploring, they come across the beds where the people are examined.
Oh my god, that's the deathbeds. Wait, mate. That's fucking the deathbeds.
They also spot a creepy message on the wall that reads, "You're not supposed to be here. We will get you." In another room, dripping in red liquid, is the word beware.
Why does it say beware? What the is this? What?
Beware of what? Let's see. Down a hallway, they find a mattress on the floor. Apparently, someone is calling this mortuary home.
Is that a microwave here?
They then come across what might be the crematorium, or maybe just where the passed on are kept waiting.
Oh my god, mate, what are these doors? What is kept in there?
At one point, when they've just entered another room, one of the crew turns quickly around and pushes his friends back the other way. That's when they hurry out of the morgue. Kay explains that what he saw in the last room was the shadow of a man on the floor. When he entered, the man got up and glass started cracking. Was it the man whose bed they saw in the hallway? Or was this a ghost that was about to cause true havoc? In the Dominican Republic in April 2013, uploader DR Local encountered a mysterious sea creature during a scooter-powered night scuba dive. The time was 9:15 p.m., while the depth was 20 meters. The creature was reportedly bony, 3/4 of a foot long, with a small head and sharp teeth. It also had translucent fins and a purple and steel sheen-colored body. The mysterious creature swam both backwards and forwards. The dorsal fin helped it maneuver both directions and propelled it at higher speeds moving forwards, which made it appear more eel-like rather than blade-shaped. According to the uploader, what could this eel-like creature be? YouTube commenters, of course, are full of suggestions. Doom Octopus said it looked like a young oarfish, while Zane Reavers said it was a cutlass fish. Both of these seem plausible, but Sampal's suggestion seems to be on the nose. It's a hairtail, very common around Sydney, Australia, usually fished at night by a very dedicated fisherman, very sharp teeth, and not too bad to eat. Whatever the thing is, I wouldn't want to run into it in the depths of the sea at night. A statue jabs another statue with a trident in the middle of the night if this video is to be believed, which I have trouble doing. Aside from looking like possible special effects, because of the awkward way the statue moves, the way the camera mysteriously cuts out as soon as the trident makes contact is too much of a coincidence. This would be really creepy to see in real life, but that'd be the only way I'd be convinced that this video is actually real. A popular YouTuber named Mikey021 has reason to believe his house in Brazil is really haunted. He says it's not uncommon for objects to go moving on their own. Tell me if you think this home experiment is real or not. This video might be a spirit, or he could be blowing plastic cups off his counter with a hair dryer. It looks paranormal until you realize it could simply be wind. If some heavier objects were caught on camera from a different angle, showing both sides of the counter, then I would be more readily convinced, but as it stands, I'm just not sure if his house is haunted. Thank you so much for getting me to 40,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Can you help me reach 50,000 subscribers? Thank you.